Really, Subaraya? You want to make my Legacy of Ultraman Gaia video already outdated? It's barely been 6 months, and now you gave Gaia a new form? How much I really do like it. I think it's a really cool looking form. And it's really pretty, and I like that the chest piece has some smaller ghoul details, and it's a great combination of red and blue, not like a ghoul supreme, and it would look really cool next to Trigger and Decker, and this is probably how Gazer or whatever new gen guy would have looked like, but I'm still mad. So shove it, Subaraya, but don't, because I still like you, and I still like this form. I am mad. I am still mad. Are you curious where you can watch the latest episode of Kamen Rider and Sentai every week? Well, since there is no official release, you might have to resort to alternative methods. Personally, when I search for website to watch tokusatsu, my top priority is to safeguard my personal data. That's why I rely on Surfshark VPN, the sponsor of today's video. With Surfshark, your online safety and privacy is paramount, as it is effective at concealing your online activities through its VPN capabilities. By encrypting your internet traffic that nobody can pry into your online endeavors or track your digital whereabouts. Additionally, Surfshark enables you to virtually explore the world with a tap, thanks to its ability to change your VPN address. By switching your location to anywhere in America, let's say, you can access at least over 10 Ultraman shows and movies, or explore other toku shows available on Tokushoutsu. You can poke around at the Japanese premium Bandai page and discover a captivating array of expensive children's toys. I highly recommend getting Surfshark VPN today, as it comes with an extra 3 months. Simply click the link in the description, and if you are unsatisfied, rest assured there is a 30-day money-back guarantee. So why wait any longer? Take advantage of this fantastic offer and sign up now. It's an incredible opportunity for all of you, my fellow Tokusatsu fans. Well, with Scarred fully complete, our new team would need some training, not only as a group, but also with the fully completed Earth Garon, with the absolutely gigantic, world's largest instructional manual. You can probably bring down heaven with this book. There are legends about it. It's kind of interesting because this was primarily the focus of the episode. It's mainly about the team starting to bond, and it's kind of still funny that they react like, what the hell? When Amy says Wilco, I kind of find it funny. It probably like maybe next episode or maybe 2 episodes after that, this is going to be like the Roger of the season, because we had like I think 3 seasons of Roger, because I remember Decker having Roger and I remember Trigger having Roger. So it's going to be kind of interesting. Maybe Wilco will be the Roger of this season. If I could point out something that was also kind of focused on this episode, was actually a Nari, which is really cool. Like, we are like episode 3, and I thought that maybe in this episode we would focus more maybe on Amy, maybe on Nagare, probably Bando, because he was literally introduced in the last 3 minutes of the last episode. But no, we are kind of getting focused on Inari. How much it's not like this big kind of plot around her, but it is very much situated on her. Learning that pretty much in her old unit, nobody really cared about her or even noticed her, but now she gets to do more stuff, like her opinion matters. Gento asks her for some sort of a strategy, and they go with it in this episode. It's really cool. Like, it's something that Ultraman does do a lot, but not new gen and not like episode 3. They most of the time kind of give the first 3 episodes to our protagonist, to our host of the season. They would never really give it to, you know, a character that is not, you know, our protagonist, showing that Taguchi has a lot more power this time than any other season, which I absolutely love. To continue to talk about things I love, and that is the cast. I think the cast has absolutely wonderful chemistry with each other. They really feel like a family. They feel like really close already, like episode 3, and it's great. I'm already thinking how sad it would be to see them leave, but you know what? If I'm already thinking about it, that means that the casting director and Taguchi picked a strong enough cast for me to have this already emotional attachment to them, which is amazing. Ultraman doesn't do it that much, specifically like New Gen Ultra, so yeah, like this is amazing. From time to time, I can be wrong, and I'm humble enough to say that I was wrong. I was very wrong about Bando. I thought he would be the arrogant douche of the team, but he actually like sees himself on the same level as the rest of the team, which is great. How much I thought that maybe having him be kind of a douche for a bit and slowly learn humility a little bit could have been an interesting story, but you know what, that's fine. But maybe Taguchi doesn't really want to copy Mebius that much. And it's kind of interesting that he literally cannot pilot Earth Garon, like he can pilot like an aircraft or something. He said something along the lines of like a big aircraft, but the big dinosaur robots, it's like this is the level of like, I don't know, you damn worked on it. You don't know how to pilot it? That's weird, but I find it kind of endearing. I really like the moment where the monster arrived in Japan and the GGF was trying to attack it, but they didn't know that if they would shoot at it, the monster's explosion would cause a lot of damage. And you can actually hear Gento fighting over the comms to let his team work and pretty much fight it close quarter combat style. And you can see like everybody in Scarred hearing it, and it feels empowering. And it was such a cool moment that after the fact, Scar doesn't need to have a special order to deploy when a monster arrives, which is something that's like, oh, that's a thing that every Ultra season has. Most of the time, like the defense team is the first thing that comes out, but giving it some sort of a context is really cool. How much like it should be Scarred, but hey, giving some sort of a context why our defense team is literally the thing that's going to just fight the monster is really cool. There was this small little moment where Earth Garon was down and Gento got out to repair it, but in the end he transformed with like no one commenting where he was. I understand, it's an Ultraman thing, but like he was like, oh, I would go and repair it, and I would just disappear, and like no one ever commented about it. Like at least like comment about it, at least say something. It's just like, oh, that happened. Well, Anari just shoot the weird missiles that come from Earth Garon's tail. And for, in my opinion, the more interesting part of the episode is we kind of got the moment where Gento and Blazar kind of form their bond. And it's more interesting than other Ultra seasons because from at least what it looked like, Gento wasn't injured and Blazar didn't saw his heroic bravery. He was kind of saving people from a building, and when he checked if there is anyone else in the building, he kind of saw the big Blazar and walked to it. Basically taking the trope of the Ultraman choosing its host and absolutely flipping it, where the host kind of shows their Ultra, which I think it's kind of cool, and it is something really interesting that I think could play a part to what's coming up in the season. It is something completely new, like literally, so that's going to be kind of interesting kind of going forward, because again there is still this big split between Blazar and Gento, because it's very much the regular host type of deal of like when Gento is like human size, it's very much Gento in control, and when Gento transforms, it's very much Blazar in control. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see what's going to happen kind of around halfway point of the season, like episode 12 or like 13, where most of the time like final forms kind of appear most of the time. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see like, okay, what the hell is going to happen with Blazar? Is like Blazar Blazer and Gento are kind of going to fuse. Is the final form going to be like Gento fully in control? That would be kind of interesting. I don't know. Like, I'm already theorizing about Blazer's final form, where it's probably going to be a lot later down the line than what I think, because most of the time, like, final forms are around like the mid 15s to pretty much 17, and episode 17 pretty much being like the very kind of last episode that a final form can kind of appear in exception to like Trigger Truth, because that was like weird, because Glitter Trigger was his final form, but also Trigger Truth, so I don't really sure about that, but I don't really care about Trigger. Let's move on. There isn't a lot to move on, but it would be very interesting to see going forward what's going to be the effect of Blazar kind of deflecting the monster's beam to shoot it at the sky, because 100% it had to hit something, right? It had to. So yeah, what you thought about Blazar episode 3? Blazar is continuing on its very strong streak of episodes. Yes, I know, it's not as dark. It's not as dark as Nexus. Still don't get the weird comparisons. Just look at Gaia. It's practically like Gaia and like Mebius had a baby, if you really think about it. With little hints of Nexus, I get it. But yeah, what you thought about the third episode of Ultraman Blazar? Comment below, let me know. Thanks Surfshark for sponsoring my channel. Subscribe to my channel if you didn't. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day.